So it's not really the same.
Yeah.
It's not like we took over England. That would have been really significant.
Yeah.
You know, George Washington got on a boat, went to London, got rid of the Queen or the King George.
Right.
That would have been gigantic. Cuba, that was bad for Cuba. Somebody asked that.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Yeah, it never goes well when there's a... okay, so yeah, because you asked me, do I think it's going to be good? I don't see that this is... You have to be a tremendous optimist to the point of naivety. I mean, someone says, hey, I think this is really good, they're going to have a democracy and this and that and the other, and everybody's going to... And I'm like, you are a huge optimist. I just see this negative... It's going to end in Sharia law. It's going to end with a problem with the Suez Canal in terms of the United States getting through it. The U.S. is going to be deemed the bad guys because, you know, we were funding Mubarak for the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. State of Israel is going to be in extreme danger. I mean, I don't see this being good, and people are celebrating, and I'm like, you guys are, you know, I think it's a very dark day. I think Friday is going to go down as a very dark day in history.
I remember this was being discussed in a room I was in a few days ago, and one of the people in charge said, I'd just like to see all those right-wing religious types all sent off to an island. You know, and so let them just do their right-wing religious things, like right-wing Jews, right-wing Muslims, right-wing Christians, just like send them all off to an island. And I'm thinking, great, you know, he wants to put me in a concentration camp. So do you have anything from last week?
A couple things.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about tonight. What day is today?
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So is a Torah Jew allowed to like give his girlfriend flowers on Valentine's Day?
Is he allowed to give them on
Valentine's Day and say this is Happy Valentine's Day for his wife? Or...
Is he halachically allowed to?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any expressed isser which is explicitly said you are forbidden, you know, to do that. Mm-hmm. However, I'm not aware of any from me who, you know, any from Rav who would say that they just would say avoid doing that. And here's the reason: it's Saint Valentine's. It's based on a Catholic. The origination of this holiday is a Goyish holiday. It's a Catholic. It's a Catholic holiday. Mm-hmm. We had a similar discussion about Christmas. Mm-hmm. And your three wise men came to you and they said you should never even say Merry Christmas to people. So if you can't say Merry Christmas to people, then you can't say Happy Saint Valentine's Day to a woman, and how much more so when you say it to her giving her a flower. So to you already have your answer.
But what if she's going to give you a blowjob if you do?
Oh, I think Rashi brings that up.
Presuming she's your lawfully wedded spouse.
Right. Well, okay. Here's today. It's a Hallmark holiday, right? And it's basically like, you know, it's at the level of Mother's Day and Father's Day. And what do we always say? You know, and I heard a good vort last night, and it's you don't need a special day to love your partner. You should be loving your partner every day of the year. So even if this wasn't a Catholic holiday, which it is, and it's just a Hallmark holiday, and its origins are in Hallmark, just like Mother's and Father's Day, right? Jews don't need such a day. We love our partners every day of the year. We don't need a special day like, oh, I need chocolates, and I need you to take me out to dinner, and I need flowers. If you can give this wife flowers, and you can give her chocolates, and you can take her out tonight, then you can do it again tomorrow night, and you can do it again Saturday night, and you can do it again next week, and you don't need Valentine's Day for it. That's my point.
It's interesting, as soon as I say, but what if she offers you, if she's going to give you a blowjob? Everyone in their right mind thinks this is someone who you're not married to. Like everyone in their right mind thinks, you know, the only person who's going to be so thrilled to give you a blowjob is someone you're not married to. And there was this great psychologist who was on Dennis Prager's radio show about 3 weeks ago, Roy Baumeister. And
Take some questions from here because I'm seeing it. It's good questions.
yeah, I want to finish my point.
Okay, go on. So I'm sorry.
So he studies male and female sexuality, and he notes that when women are pairing up to get married,
Okay.
settle down,
Yes.
for about a year or so, their sex drive is approximately equal to the man's. But as soon as they commit and settle down, they kind of return to their baselines, which is 90%, in more than 90% of couples, according to Roy Baumeister, this great psychologist, men want much more sex than do their wives. And so, I
Really?
Yeah. So,
Really?
yeah.
I would have guessed the opposite.
I'm just quoting him, so I'm not an authority.
No, I'm hearing it. I would have
And-
expected the opposite.
And so I remember there was this website, it was complaining about marriage, and it was quoting men, and this one man said, I remember my last blowjob like it was yesterday. In fact, it was, 4 years ago, a week before we got married. I've had relationships with women where we had sex, every time we were together. This is prior to my conversion to Orthodox Judaism. But virtually every time together, we had sex for about a year. And Roy Baumeister says, a lot of couples think, I finally found my partner, and we have sex every time we're together. This is how it's going to be for the rest of our lives. But as soon as you get married and settle in, basically the sexes revert to their baselines.
I would have guessed the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty surprised. I'm not arguing against the thing.
Yeah.
It just seemed like from the stories that I've heard from so many married people, that the guy starts getting bored of the sex after about 6 months. And that the woman, her sex drive seems to pick up as she starts hitting 40. As she gets older, hers starts to pick up. But he starts to get a little bored and starts to look other places. I don't know. That's just the stories I hear.
I didn't see any questions in here that you haven't covered before, such as
okay.
cunnilingus and BJ is okay in the Torah. Well, if it's between a married couple.
Yeah, who's I don't know Sylvia Cool, but to answer her question, yeah, we've covered it at length.
Maybe you should meet with me privately, Sylvia, and we can go over some of your questions in a more discreet atmosphere.
Wait, somebody said let the rabbi answer. What was the question? What was the question?
About whether BJs and cunnilingus are okay between a
but
married couple.
we went long.
We went into very depth, but Sylvia, you can feel free to pull me aside. Oh, whoop! Sylvia is Esther's Facebook mom. Forget it, Sylvia. I retract my offer to discuss these weighty issues with you in privacy.
No, we talked about this at length before, Sylvia. Thanks for tuning in tonight. That in Judaism, basically between a husband and a wife, behind closed doors, it's basically anything goes. So the oral that was described in graphic detail in the chat room, that's all fine.
Using language that Torah personalities such as Rabs and I do not use. Now, people are complaining in the chat room about commercials, yet Rabs and I see no commercials. Now, why do we see no commercials? Because I use the Firefox browser and I use the ad blocker attachment. So I see no ads whenever I cruise the internet.
Oh, that's why you don't have the...
That's why I don't care how many ads are on my blog.
Okay, because your blog is like this now. It's like this. It's like, go to Levy's blog, and it's just like, go check out my thing where I'm going to be talking about Torah. And I go over there right now. And it's still like that. You said you made changes. It's like, there's like a cheeseburger advertisement, then there's some woman showing me her breasts, and there's an advertisement, and it's like, oh yeah, why was I coming over here for something? I can't even remember. And by the time I get to any Torah, I've had to, I've had all the temptations of
Well, I
this
guess
world.
you don't use the Firefox browser with the ad blocker.
You know why?
Why?
It's a habit I have from MySpace. They used to have a rule on MySpace, right? And I have never bothered to retweak it, that if you had that, they threatened that if they could grab your IP address and they could figure it out, they'll close your account. I couldn't take a chance on that, because that's where they make all their money.
Yeah, MySpace closed my MySpace account.
They closed your MySpace?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's because you posted pictures of your genitalia.
No, I'm a Torah personality.
Why did they close you down?
I don't know.
Wow.